Hello, everyone. My name is Leslie. I'm your Member Engagement Manager for NSHSS. Thank you so much for joining us at lunchtime today on what is turning out to be wacky weather February. So I don't know how many of you are being affected by these snowstorms, but I know that might make things a little difficult. We're very, very happy today to have our two co-VPs of scholarship from Collegiate Council with us, and to have Eljin Rhymes as our speaker to talk about his experience. We also have Nikki I, who is our Manager of Scholarships and Communications, here to answer a few questions later on about applying to scholarships with NSHSS. And then Karen Kane is in the background because she is the GOAT, as I've heard her called. So she's managing all the things that she does, but she will be here to answer some of those questions in chat as well. I have a very fun connection to Eljin that I thought I would talk about before we kind of get started and as we let everyone join. Before I started working for NSHSS, sort of in my official capacity, I was invited to Scholars Day Atlanta, and didn't quite know what to expect. If anyone's been, it is a huge event covering 2 days of member benefits and panels and breakout sessions, and a big award ceremony at the end where they give everyone their medallions, but they also award scholarships. And I was kind of walking around just exploring a little bit to check it out and see what this organization was about. And as I randomly walk into the Great Hall, there's Eljin on stage being handed a giant check by Karen Kane for, I guess it was his first scholarship in 2019, talking a little bit about how he wanted to design better buildings because he's from Florida and he wanted things to be more hurricane ready. So I thought that was really cool. It was a great paper, great scholarship to win. I had no idea that moving forward, Eljin would be one of our co-VPs for the Collegiate Council. So that's my connection to Eljin and his expertise as a scholarship winner. So I thought, Eljin, if you would like to go ahead and talk a little bit about your experience, we'll be happy to hear from you.
Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you for sharing that little experience about me. It's always a fun time to see how people first interact with me, and seeing that was your first interaction with me getting into the big check. That's kind of funny how that kind of foretold the future. That's my position as a man right now. But for everybody else, that's a greetings. Greetings and humble salutations. My name is Eljin Rhymes, as you've been told. I'm a second-year industrial engineer at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. I am also a full-time student athlete at FAMU, participating in the football team. I am a linebacker for the football team as well. What I would like to start off with from this first meeting objectives is thank you for being here. I'm sure that everybody using this time wisely. This is a Thursday afternoon. On the eastern side, this is 2 o'clock. So might be still during your school day. So I thank you for taking the time to be here. What we're going to cover during this presentation is speaking on my own background about the scholarships and my experiences, kind of getting down to what scholarships really are and how valuable scholarships are to you and why they're valuable to you. I'll talk a little bit about how to adequately search for them and when is the best time to apply, and a little bit of motivation at the end for when you are coming and applying for scholarships, how you should have the right mindset to go into it. So moving on to my first experience with any scholarship, it happened my senior year, started with $100. This $100 scholarship came from an organization called Links Battalion, which was a local city organization for underrepresented Black males at the senior level. And they were part of an organization that created opportunities and taught us valuable skills as young men, and essentially how to become a man while making that transition stage from the high school years to the college years, and even to our own careers and developing our own families. So I started with that $100, and at the time I was really questioning why the $100 that only really paid for the application fee. So, and if you have been applying for a lot of college applications and admissions, that $100 really get eat up real quick with all the fees and search for college just in that alone. So coming out of high school, being that was my only one that I had, I basically had to start off from the bottom. Academically speaking, I wasn't the smartest kid, but I wouldn't say I wasn't the smartest kid at the same time. I had a 3.5 GPA coming out of high school, but I was involved with a lot of sports, clubs, internships, and really endowed with my community. So that gave me a leverage when I chose to go to FAMU, and I was offered a football position. I wasn't given a scholarship for the football. I prefer walk on, so I had to work on my academics to really provide my way through the college world. My first scholarship that I found out, funny story, was my second scholarship. My second scholarship ever, but the first one with the Honor Society was $1,000 for the Class Nobel Academic Scholarship. And the funny story about that is I didn't find out until I think it was like a month and a half that I was given to it, when I just randomly checked my spam email and it said, "Congratulations, you won." And I only had 2 weeks to accept it before they were going to defer the scholarship. So I was like, "Oh wow, I got I got to like really hop on this opportunity." So once I hop on an opportunity, this was when we had to go to Atlanta, and so me, I try, even though I do travel a lot, I haven't traveled to Atlanta, especially for an event like this. So it was a very, very dominant time for me and a special time in my life. I got to see Class Nobel, Dr. James Lewis. I got to meet a whole slew of academic scholars from around the country, and to see so many like-minded individuals was a really special moment for me. And that's what motivated me to even pursue the higher towards my academic scholarships, and made me pursue a greater goal of being there again, getting that feeling of not having to rely on my mom for her paying for my college. So 5 scholarships later, in last semester in 2020, I won the James W. Lewis Global Leader Scholarship. And this was for a $5,000 scholarship, which greatly helped me. That paid the rest of my fall semester off. And that led some excess money for me to even invest in my savings account. So even after college, I can possibly accumulate enough to even buy a house as a first-time home buyer. So it's a great experience to see how far that one experience has taken me. So moving on from my own experience, I'd like to talk about what more scholarships are and what is involved when it comes to winning them. So my basic definition of what scholarship is funds allocated from an organization, university, or a business that rewards promising students for their academic achievements. Being in the honor society, you already shown a strong academic achievement with however you did on the SATs, the ACTs, or even in your academic baseline or the 3.5 GPA in one of your years in high school. So that alone already puts you ahead of the curve. That makes you the 1% in the cream of the crop in academic echelon, especially as you transition, if you're seeing right now, transition from college, high school senior to a college freshman. But my definition of the scholarship is essentially hard. I've spent a lot of hours, but as well as building connections along the way to achieve to where I feel comfortable being an academic scholar and taking that as my own role. So I would like to speak to you all and say that hard work works, and hard work really does pay off. So I really want you to keep at it. When applying for scholarships, many scholarships go off of 4 key pillars. These 4 pillars are the community service, how much you do, your academic achievement, of course, the hardships that you endured within your scholarly approach, which is a very big thing that can be overlooked as you working hard through your years. I know through an academic year that not everything's gonna be perfect. You may fail a test, you may fail a quiz, something tragic might happen in the family. You may even experience homelessness. Whatever it is, trust me, it is a very hard and painful thing to go through. And being as humans, it's hard for us to adapt to new changes. But the fact that we are able to adapt to new changes, and those who are able to explicify what happened and how you're able to overcome it, there's a scholarship for it. And so if you have a situation that you've been in that you feel that you experience a heartache or someone of that form, I really will call you to look for scholarships that look for that, because as my scholarship endeavors, I have found that the more you're able to speak on your hardship and provide a promising future, the better your chances are to win said scholarship or to have a unique story that's unique only to you. Because that's what scholarship is all about. Your unique story and how your academic affairs will help you achieve your goals. And lastly, for the pillars is your plans for college and career. If you got a plan, if you got a solid plan, even in high school, that puts you above many kids. I can tell you that a lot of my colleagues right now, they don't even really know fully what they want to do. And I try to motivate them and try to do a little process where my mom did with me was look at what you're good at, look at what you're passionate at, and try to find a middle ground between them. Because I was passionate about engineering, but I also was good at helping people. So when I put those two together, mathematics, science, to helping and community service, engineer was born. So my main goal is to create a sustainable development of cities, especially in the Florida Panhandle, to withstand natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever may hit. I want to create and provide a better future for the communities that are going to develop like years from now. And so even if I even help out with just one city, that's enough for me to say that all my hard work paid off just to help one family or just to help one community, even my own community. That's what I strive for. So always keep that in mind. Whatever you got planned for your future, do it to the best of your ability and make sure you go after it with everything you got. And lastly, on what's involved with scholarships, community service and extracurriculars are especially sought for because anybody can be smart. But it's hard for an academic student to be well-rounded, because a well-rounded individual is always valued more from the college setting to the work setting to the career setting. A well-rounded individual is always going to be sought for. So if you do have a well-rounded schedule or resume, then I would highly suggest want to, as much as you can, tell about every experiences outside the classroom, because that's part of college admissions. They don't just want a smart student; they want to see, okay, what can this student provide for the university, and how far will they go in our university? If you can answer those two questions and provide that need, then you're a shoe-in for any university, in my opinion. So next on the objectives list, I'm going to move to why scholarships are valuable. Which is pretty self-explanatory. They're valuable for yourself as college career and college degrees are very much sought out for from the working force, the job class. Most jobs nowadays prefer you to have a bachelor's or higher, since getting a high school degree and GED is become simpler and easier for everyone. So the competition level is going to have to rise up and see for those who are best fit to rise to the challenge. So also, it's for your parents not to pay. I'm sure many kids here don't want their parents to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for college funds, and out of the money that they're already trying to allocate just to get you through school, even in high school right now. So if that's not enough of a reason, then always consider your own future as a reason as well, because what you invest in yourself is what you're gonna get out of it in the future. So I will really express scholarships are valuable in that way. And they also help you with your career and adventures and internships with employers, because employers want to see that your academic achievements, you were able to attain scholarships. That means you're able to learn, you're able to communicate efficiently, you're able to have skills and critical thinking skills, which is a very highly valued quality in the workforce and the careers. So as an engineer, it is very, very needed to have your critical thinking skills, because not everything is going to be relying on math. I mean, I know you kind of see the jacket I got on, it got a bunch of math symbols, but it's not much use for me to know all these symbols and not know how to apply them in the real world. So that's just an example that I'm using as an engineer. But moving on to the other objectives that we have is how to adequately search for them. That's a question I've always been asked for, even from my own colleagues and those in my local community, is how do you adequately search for a scholarship? Where does it come from? Like, where is it available? Now simply, Google is your friend. As I learned in the last scholarship panel I was for the Honor Society, Google is really necessary and a really reliable tool for you to explain your information, expand your read, broaden your knowledge of what is out there, what is for you. And for me, my best websites that I know of that has helped me so far to pay for the rest of my college years through scholarships are websites like, of course, the Honor Society, NSHSS.org scholarships. I'll apply that you go check it out if you haven't seen it. I know we have a bunch of new scholarships for the February chapter, February section. And if you need a scholarship and you're graduating senior, we have a lot of scholarships out there for you. Even if an undergrad college student, there's scholarships that we have available right now that you can apply for. So enough for besides the promotion value. Scholarship America. Scholarship America is a reliable scholarship website that I use a lot. I've actually won 2 scholarships from there, and those 2 scholarships have allowed me to, again, finish the rest of my college years with academic and financial burden, because the money that was used from there is going to fund my career. CapEx is another good scholarship website. You put in your information, whether it's from high school or college, your SAT, ACT, community service, what you like to do, from race, gender, religious belief, whatever it is. CapEx take all that encompassment and finds the best scholarships for you. And you might get results of $1 million worth of scholarship just for you being in a certain location. Like being in Florida, you might just get $1 million worth of scholarships available for you just for your location. So always keeping in mind that there's many factors of a scholarship, and don't ever think that you're not qualified when in reality you might be. The United Negro College Fund is a great resource as well. If you're thinking about attending HBCU and want any college funding for that, that's a great resource that I have found for myself, and as well as the Thurgood Marshall College Fund website, which is similar to United Negro College Fund, just a separate entity in terms of scholarships and corporations that they have been accompanied with. And also, your university that you're applying for, check out their websites. A lot of universities I'm seeing now in their Naviance or application Common App, that when you sign up for the university or you go to apply for the university, you'll automatically be enrolled and a drawing for academic scholarships based on your academic achievements in high school. So if that seems like to me the easiest way that you can get it, you can get it with your own university. The university has free money out there for college students and or incoming college students, and it's going to be on you to really expedite that. They'll have the money, but sometimes they not want to show you that they have the money, if that makes sense. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun with college world, but it's there. Just know if you know where to look, you can find it. And I'm telling you this, going on university site, and if they have a scholarship tab, search through it profusely. That I cannot stress that enough. The more you search, the more you will learn, and the more you can apply, and the more money that you can get. It's a simple formula, no pun intended. And you can also search up for local organizations and businesses that you have. Local organizations and businesses like McDonald's, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts. I've heard just a few to name off the top of my head. They give out scholarships for spouses of the employees, or if you work there, even if you work there, they'll give you a scholarship just for working there, and you're going to college. They might even look forward to investing in you. You never know. So again, Guru is your friend. So please, please, please look for it. Look for the scholarships that are best fit for you. And next on the agenda list, almost about to be up for me speaking. Another question is I get, when is the best time to apply? The best time to apply, in my opinion, is anytime. Anytime to apply, because there's always going to be a deadline. There's always a scholarship open, and there's always one that's about to be closed. So I would say anytime is the best time. But to my digression, the best times to apply really come from the time period between August 1st and December 1st. Usually during that time period, that's when the new wave of incoming freshmen, new college students coming in, or new seniors coming in. So it's the start of a new school year. And so organizations and universities want to pick and choose who's going to stand out in the crowd, who stands out already, and want to offer them a chance to achieve academic greatness. Again, you got to know that the university has some money, and you have to go apply. The second time period that seems to be the most fruitful when it comes to the scholarship wave is January 1st through May 1st. During this time, I've won, I would say, 5 out of the 7 of my scholarships during the January 1st and May 1st. Again, it's the start of a new year, start of a new semester. It's a spring semester for the college world and the second semester in the high school world. And especially if you're a rising senior right now going into your college freshman year, that is the most prevalent time. That's also the time where financial aid will be dispersed, and they'll be asking more and more for the application for it. So on top of the scholarships, fill out your FAFSA. That is your key objective once you're in college. You have to do it every year. And I cannot express that enough, that make sure that your parents have all the information that they need, and make sure that you're getting into the universities in a timely manner. Because if you don't get it in a timely manner, they cannot distribute the funds in enough time, and they might run out of money before you're able to fully apply. So do it as soon as you can. And my best advice that I have for you is, when applying for scholarships, just as a whole, to use the 10% rule that I've created. Out of every 10 scholarships, statistically, you are guaranteed to win at least one. And I have seen that be quite true. I've applied to 70 scholarships throughout my senior through freshman year. And out of that 70, I ended up getting 7. And those 7 were key and fruitful enough to provide and pay for my whole rest of my college career. So again, apply. That money is out there for you, and you can have it, you can achieve it. It is yours. You gotta go out and after it. And finally, you just gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe that, why not you? Why not you be the one to get the scholarship? It's out there. And if I had to be honest, there's been many scholarships that they have to extend the deadline because not enough people are applying. So you might run up on scholarship where there only 2 people apply, and you might be the one to get it. You never know. They don't tell you how many people apply. When you apply, you just applying it. So just believe in yourself, and just know that you have greatness within you. You all are wonderful, smart, and great people that I'm sure of. You can do whatever that you have your mindset to. I know I thought the same thing coming out of high school of how I was gonna be successful, but the more I stuck to it, the harder I worked, and the more information and knowledge that I got from webinars like this, the more I gained and started to build confidence in myself. So I would say to you again, as a final thing, if you didn't understand anything else I said this whole time of me talking, believe that you are the one to do. Believe that you are the one to do it. Believe that you can achieve your dreams, because it's out there. And thank you for your time. So.
Thank you so much, Eljin. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties just from the winter storm that hit where I am here. But that was wonderful. Thank you so much. So nice to hear all of that, and how incredible to go from a $100 scholarship to a $5,000 scholarship. Practice makes perfect. That's a really great story. While we're waiting for a few of the questions to roll in, Rishi, did you have any questions for Eljin or anything that you wanted to talk about? That open it up to you.
So a quick introduction to myself. My name is Rishi, and I am a second-year computer science student at Johns Hopkins University. I have a few minors as well, and I'm also, in terms of scholarships, I am the recipient of the Academic Paper Awards from 2019, and I am the recipient of the Student Council Scholarship from 2020. I think everything that Eljin covered is absolutely wonderful, and I would say, just to add one more thing, when you're in high school and you want to try to get into a college, just pursue whatever you're interested in from a club's kind of perspective. Don't try to go out of your way to do something the college might be interested in. You're saying, oh, I have to do speech and debate, I have to do cybersecurity, I have to do all these things. And the fact is, you really don't. You should do exactly what you're interested in. And if a college happens to take you, that's great. If they don't, that's fine as well. What I found with college acceptance, especially with very selective colleges, is it's often more of a game of chance than anything else. And so I think the best way to get into the college of your choice is just to do whatever you're interested in, because if you do what you're interested in, it's authentic, and colleges can tell when it's authentic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rishi. We have a question from Nasia. I'm not sure if she says, thanks for the tips. I'm more of a talker than a writer. So in my case, what would be some tips for improving essays for scholarships as a college sophomore? Also, should I focus more on applying for the large scholarships or the small ones that add up over time?
I can answer this one. So I would say if you are more of a talker than a writer, that's great, but you already have the fundamental skills to be a good writer if you're good at communication. So if you want to improve your essay writing skills, I would say just practice as much as you can. Write essays, get them edited by your English teachers or your peers. And essentially, the more writing you do, the better you'll get at it, and the more feedback you get. You know what specific places you need to improve in. Your second question was, should I focus more on the large scholarships or the small ones that add up over time? I just say do whatever you have time for. Because if you find a small scholarship and you've got maybe, a week's worth of free time in the coming few months, then, apply for it and you should be able to do it. But if you find a larger scholarship, yeah, definitely see first off what it's for. If it's for something that you're interested in, then go for it. But if it's for something that you haven't really looked into, like let's say I'm an engineering student, but there's a big full ride scholar. I'm exaggerating, but there's a big full ride scholarship for writing or something. I'm probably not going to go for that because it's really not my interest. Keep in mind also that larger scholarships probably ask for recommendations. So something that you apply for a larger scholarship in should be something that you have personal experience for as well. So basically, in summary, the small ones, if you have time for it, go for it. But for the large scholarships, look into, I guess, the subject of the scholarship and see if your interests line up with that.
Right. And I absolutely agree with everything that we just said. And I also would to really comment on the second question that was stated there. When it comes to my experiences with applying for a large or small scholarship, I always look for how many applications and awards will be granted within that one scholarship. Because in my experience, whenever you apply for scholarships that will accept 50 to 100 applicants for winning the scholarship, as opposed to applying for a scholarship that has one or two or the top three you get to pick, then I'll always say go for the one with the larger probability of you winning. My reason being, as an example that I have, is for my Lockheed Martin scholarship. I had applied around this time last year for Lockheed Martin academic scholarship, and for STEM related fields and engineers who wanted to improve their careers and have a career and future at Lockheed. And so I applied. I was kind of scared because they said in the overview after a few months past the deadline that over 10,000 people applied. Now they select 350 out of those 10,000. So I thought, wow, this is a really big deal. It's a really big deal, and it's for $10,000. And when I applied, I was one of the 350 that was selected. And that's when I realized, when I applied for other scholarships, like 5 other scholarships before that, only the top 3 were selected. And even though the amount was lower and the application pool was lower, it was still a lower chance. So summation, if you can find a scholarship that has a large amount of money being offered and a larger probability of you being selected or number of applicants that's being selected, then go for it. Even if it is a smaller amount that's being presented, still go for those scholarship applications that have more of a application base, more of a quantitative more than a qualitative. So that's my biggest piece of advice I have.
Yeah, that's great. Also, I was thinking, so you've won 10% of the scholarships that you've applied for, is what you said, right? Like 1 out of 10?
Yes. So I've applied for roughly 70 since 2020, and I've gotten 7 thus far, 7 or 8.
That's great. And so 2 of those came from NSHSS. So I just little shout out there. Little plug for NSHSS and the scholarships that we have available.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So in terms of like a time commitment for how much time you spend doing these different applications and things like that, do you find that it's like a part-time job kind of? Like how much time do you think you spend when you're applying to 70 scholarships in 2 years?
For time commitment, I've always viewed myself as being a time managed person, time managed person at that. When I keep up with my scholarships, I found a formula to go to an Excel document and basically list every scholarship and have, rows list the scholarship, but in the columns, list the name of the scholarship, when it's due, or when it's open and when it's due, the amount that's going to be offered, how many letter recommendations is it, how many questions is it, the minimum GPA requirement, and where you got the scholarship from, and how important is it to you. And usually when I measure my scholarship, that's how important to me is. It first goes on the amount and how much of a probability it is for me to get it. So if I'm applying for, let's say Coca-Cola got a scholarship and it's for $100,000 and they're only going to select two applicants, as opposed to, let's say McDonald's has a scholarship, they have $1,000, but they're giving it to 50 applicants. I'll spend more of my time applying for the McDonald's one as opposed to the Coca-Cola one, because I don't know if they actually have the scholarship. I'm just kind of making it off the top of my head. But I'll spend more time applying for the McDonald's one because it's more of a chance, since it is a smaller scholarship, it's easier for me to get it, and it probably won't be as much energy that I have to expedite. With $100,000, in my experience, I've seen you'll have to make a video, 3 letters of recommendations, like 3 different types of essays. So it's a lot more time commitment that's used as opposed to the smaller scholarships. So it's a lot to manage, but once you find free time, let's just say you may be on the weekend, you get done with all your homework, and you might think about going to the game for however many hours, just for example, or do something with your friends. I would say just spend an hour just applying for it, or just an hour throughout the week. At some point, you're going to have an hour of free time. That's how I see it. It's 24 hours in the day, and humanly possible, I don't believe that you're going to spend every 24 hours of your day committed to something other than towards an investment of yourself. So that's my viewpoint on it.
And I see that there is, on the topic of time management and just management of doing stuff in general, Ms. Kane has posted a question in chat, which says, how do you keep track of all your applications? I personally keep track of all my applications, just like I do with all the other tasks I have. I just have a planner where I'm like, I need to apply to this by this time. But different people do it differently, obviously. I know one person who had an Excel spreadsheet full of all the scholarships that they had applied for. but basically the fundamental theme is just to keep organized, have a planner, have an Excel spreadsheet, have something on your computer or somewhere that lists all the scholarships, their due dates, and the requirements. I think that's very useful.
And in terms of just like going over those applications, do you get a second set of eyes? Do you use software to help you with writing or anything like that? Like, how do you kind of make sure that you're doing concise writing and that it's the best
So I can,
approach?
sorry, go ahead, Eljin.
Yeah, I'll just speak a little bit on it from a little bit of what I do. On top of seeing another set of eyes on it, I usually let my English professor or I go to a professor or the English Writing Center, and they actually have tutors where they'll go over your scholarship application for you. They won't give you the answer as to what you should do. They can only guide you as to recommendations. So, but at first I thought, I thought that was kind of silly. I was like, I thought I came here for the answers, but really and truly, they can't help you decide they can't help you tell your life story. And that's what a scholarship application essentially is. It's a segment of your life story that you're displaying to a reviewer and trying to form them a solid enough reason for them to give you money for your school or your adventures, your project, whatever that you apply for. They want a real solid and concise reason. So I find that's helpful. Another thing that I do personally is I download and use this system called Grammarly. Grammarly, it basically is an automatic English professor for you. It does say it can detect passive voice, active voice, whatever the tone of your style, your scholarship that you're trying to apply for, and try to direct your essay to. You can set it to the settings to where it will grade your paper the exact way that you want it to be said and how you want it to be heard. And it corrects all the errors that's made in it. Any justification, any even just advanced writing errors, it would automatically tell you how you should fix it, where it is, and sometimes give you suggestions on how to fix it or what words to use in opposed to it. So that's just what my personal use has been. Richard, you can speak on yours.
Sure. So just in terms of getting my application reviewed, my school has a live design center, so I'll go there to, for them to look over things like my cover letter and my resume. Hopkins also has an AI tool that they can use to analyze your resume and tell you how good it is. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to use it soon enough for things like internship applications, which are similar to scholarship applications in a lot of ways. And through my connections, actually, this is very important. If you have had past internships or scholarships and you want to get another internship or scholarship in a field that you've already had an internship in, keep contacts with those people that you used to work with, because no doubt they were the ones that accepted you into employment. And so they know what they're looking for in a resume. They can be a great reviewer of specifically the resume portion, but also the entire application as a whole. So, just a summary, for a second set of eyes, I like to use, number one, the resources that my school give me. Number two, like any AI tools that they give me. And number three, any connections that I've already made.
Yeah, I know Eljin has mentioned before how important networking is because you never know when that opportunity comes along. And I think too, just in terms of talking about references, you have to get those letters of recommendation. So when do you guys recommend that they start working on that? Especially, I mean, if you're a senior, you're already working on those letters, but what for those that are younger in high school?
So I would say what my school had me do, since we're really big on college applications, what my school had me do is let my teachers know at the end of junior year, who I wanted to write me a recommendation, who I wanted my recommenders to be. That's how you say it. Okay. So I had to let my recommenders know the summer before senior year, so that they had the entire summer to write my recommendation. I would just say, if if what you want to apply for is like a few years down the line, put it on hold. You might meet someone in the time between now and then who could give you a solid recommendation. But if you're kind of close to the deadline, I would say if it's a really big one like college, within a year, start thinking about who you're going to ask for your recommendations, and be sure to ask at least at the latest by the end of your junior year.
Right. I do agree with that too, because my high school, it was a college preparatory high school, and they had this series called the Junior Interview Series. And so basically during that time, you got to experience what it's like to even give an interview, because some colleges you have to do a virtual interview session now. And you will give insight on what the interview would look for, what is the best thing to avoid during the interview, how the best approach it. And on top of your interview, they also give you resume information and advice as to who becomes as a reference. The references are similar to recommendations, as opposed to reference comes from your job and work experience onto the next job and work experience that you're aiming for. Recommendations come from your academic professor, advisors, tutor, whoever has been with you in academic settings and has seen your character develop. They'll recommend you to another organization, university, or program that is going to utilize those qualities and characteristics of yourself for you to be acclimated to a system. So, in long story short, the best time to do it and the best area to do it is do it within a year, know who you're doing it, and always be close to whoever your professors are. That's why I say even your meanest professors, I used to have the saying, even the meanest professors, always keep them close, because you never know who they might know. Because they might know a person that could help you get another job or get you into that college. So always keep on good terms with everyone, and just know that it's up to you when it's deciding who's going to write you a recommendation. So always treat others with respect, kindness, and with good character.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Eljin. Well, we're almost at the end of our hour here, so I thought we could go ahead if you have some closing thoughts, Eljin, or anything else that you would like to let everyone know. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
I feel like I've pretty much said as much as I've been. Hit all the key elements when applying for scholarships. Make sure that you always on good terms with your recommendations and recommenders who write your letter of recommendations, because those are your main deciders and main contributors to what might get you in the door in your next position, in your next stage in life. And in terms of scholarships, money is out there. Money is free, and money is for you. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me for this whole almost hour long. I really hope that this information really sits well within your scope and gives you a better insight as to what to improve on and what's going to be your strategy as you progress within this next year, or at least until next time we did the lunch series. With Rishi, I believe you're the next lead speaker for it.
I guess I could be, yeah.
I think we're looking to get Neha Gupta for March for Women's History Month. She is a 2014 winner. So yes, the Lunch and Learn series is monthly. It's the third Thursday of every month at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can find it on our webinars page if you would like to register for that. Don't forget to check out the panel that we have tonight that features Ms. Karen Kane and Nikki I, who will be talking about how to find and secure scholarship dollars based on their expertise as selectors for scholarship winners through NSHSS and talk about some of the additional opportunities that are available and how to secure those dollars for your collegiate funding. And if you guys would like to contact Eljin or Rishi, they are our co-VPs of scholarships for the Collegiate Council, which is our college level leadership program with NSHSS. You can find them on the link that I put in the chat, or you can find them on our leadership tabs. They have their email address there, and I'm sure they would be happy to answer any questions you have or to contact you further. They're a great resource through NSHSS, so please take advantage of them. And Rishi, did you have anything else?
Let's see, in terms of closing thoughts, I guess a time management note: give yourself as much time as you can to do these things. They're important. You know, funding is a big barrier for reaching college and actually doing college, because some people have the academic capabilities and other talents that colleges can use, like sports or arts, but when they see the price tag, that kind of deters them because, you know, they can't afford it. So scholarships are a great way to help yourself, and make sure that you give yourself enough time to look into these things, because you could really be taking the weight off of your shoulders and off your family's shoulders.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again to everyone for joining us during this lunch hour in freezing February weather. We hope that everyone is safe and well. Make sure to be kind to yourself, give yourself some space when you need to, wash your hands, wear a mask, and we look forward to seeing you tonight at the event. Otherwise, we will see you in March, again, March 18th, for the next Lunch and Learn series. Thank you so much.